Adam here with the Walser Automotive Group, and what I want to do today is take you on a test drive. So next to me here, I have the 2024 Nissan Versa. So we'll look at the interior, the exterior, and then go for a spin around to see what it's like out on the road. Okay, so now we're behind the wheel of the 2024 Nissan Versa, and this is the SV trim. So there's the S, SV, and then the SR would be the top tier trim. So we'll look at some of the equipment you can get in here, some of the stuff that's optional, but for the most part, there's gonna be a lot of similarities between the trim levels. So let's put it in drive, we'll go for a spin around. Now, before we get too far, let's talk about my phone. So I've got it down here on the wireless charging pad that is going to come standard in the SV model. So that's pretty cool. If you've got the wireless charger going, there also is a USB charger down there. There's going to be USB-C ports in the armrest. That's going to be something that's added into the SV over the S trim. And then as well, there is going to be a USB-C port in the back. So for the most part, you can plug in, you can have Apple CarPlay as well as Android Auto, or just your standard Bluetooth in here. So when you hop in, if you just put your phone down, you can still make calls when you're on the go. Now there also is a voice control button on the steering wheel here. So if you click that, it will pop up and give you the menu to speak to who you want to call. So you're not messing with your phone when you're on the go, especially with the Apple CarPlay hooked up. It makes it pretty convenient and easy to pay attention to the road ahead. But let's touch on some of the safety stuff in this vehicle. So the Nissan Safety Suite gives you things like blind spot monitoring, emergency braking. There's a lot of good stuff built into this vehicle. So if it's going to be you and your family in the vehicle, obviously you're going to want to make sure you're safe, and the Nissan Versa does provide on that. So what powers the Nissan Versa? Now there is an option for a manual transmission in the base S model, but I assume most of them are going to come with the CVT, which is going to be paired to the 1.6 liter 4-cylinder. Now what's great about this engine is fuel economy. You're looking at 32 mpg in the city and 40 miles per gallon on the highway. Now those usually are reserved for hybrids, but this is just a regular powertrain. And with this little CVT transmission, it's kind of like one constant gear, so it's very smooth on the road. I was expecting it to be pretty slow and kind of pokey, but it's not really too bad. I think 95% of the time, it's going to be more than enough to be perfect for your daily commute. Whether you're driving back and forth to work, picking up the kids, whatever you might be doing, the Nissan Versa kind of delivers on a lot of fronts. So it doesn't really pile on a ton of equipment or a ton of stuff, but when this vehicle was redesigned in 2023, I think they did an excellent job with the exterior. So looking at this one in this cool blue color, you've got that V-Motion grille, so it is pretty sporty looking up front, and then even out back, it's kind of got this little splitter down below that's paint matched. The mirror caps are going to be paint matched to the vehicle, and then there's also kind of like a little carbon fiber trim that runs along the back, and then that comes into the interior as well. So that kind of goes onto the door cards, and then there's this really cool blue leather almost that matches on the dash. It's a pretty sporty little vehicle. Now, as far as the handling is concerned, it feels like a little light go-kart. It's really easy to drive on the road. Most of the roads I've been poking around on today are the 30 to 45, maybe 55 mile an hour roads. And like I said, I don't have any complaints. It's way quieter in here than I actually thought it was going to be. When you think of subcompacts, I think it's really only down now to the Nissan and the Mitsubishi. So I would assume that the build quality on this is really good now, and that it's very evident when you're driving around that it is quiet in here, and that the build quality has been increased quite a bit over the years. Now, a few other things inside, if you like, in the SV or in the SR, I think it's the premium package, you can add in heated cloth seats to the front here. As well, you can get the leather wrap steering wheel and shift knob combo, but I don't really mind this. The blue cloth is actually pretty comfortable. It's got a cool design that runs through. It does look really good in here, and I mean, you could eat up a lot of miles sitting in these seats. They're a little bit more firm, but I think that would be more comfortable over time. Now, what about the back seats? So I'm 6'1". Where I was driving comfortably, I was actually surprised when I crawled in the back to shoot some video stuff. I had headroom. I had knee room back there from where I was driving comfortably. I didn't move the seat, but I still fit back there. 4 adults, I mean, 5 might get a little tight, but for 4 adults, you could comfortably be in this car for quite some time, being that it is a subcompact car, but it was not bad, and I was really impressed by that. And even in the driver's seat, I have a ton of headroom up here. I actually had to click the seat forward a little bit to find the comfortable driving position for me. So when you are behind the wheel, one thing the SV is going to get is this digital gauge cluster here. So that's going to show just your standard RPMs. You can look at your radio, some of your trip computer stuff, and your average fuel economy, and then some of that safety for that blind spot monitoring stuff. So there's a lot of good equipment in the SV for this price point. I think it's something like the average new car in the US right now is over $48,000. And this one has its starting MSRP in the S model at kind of that high $17,000 range. I think this particular SV, the way it's set up today, is about $21,700. So you're looking at less than half of the average new car price in the US right now, and you're getting a lot of equipment. 40 miles per gallon, a comfortable, quiet interior, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, a lot of the safety features as well that are just being built in. So it's crazy to think that for pretty much half the price of every other car that's average on the market right now, you're getting all the equipment you need and nothing really more that you don't. Even the trunk space wasn't bad. I popped it open, threw all my camera gear back there, and you can actually pull the handle from inside the second row here, and that's gonna let you fold that seat down if you'd like. So if you're hauling any kind of strange objects, it's that 60-40 split, and you can just kick them down and throw things in that way. So there is still a lot of usability out of this small little Nissan. But the visibility is also really good in here. I can see out of the windows. They add this second little window onto the door down here, so you can actually see the road, you can see where you're backing up. There's also going to be a reverse camera in here, and I'm getting parking sensors at the back. So it will show you in the digital little infotainment screen here, as well as on your gauge cluster. It's pretty cool. Like I said, there's a lot of equipment in here. So if you're maybe coming out of college, or if you're just looking for transportation to A to B, I think it goes 100 miles on like 2.9 gallons of gas, it said. So really, if you're doing 3 gallons of regular gas to go 100 miles, that is to me very similar to what you'd be getting in most hybrid SUVs at this point, or maybe even a little bit better. So overall, kind of closing thoughts. I was blown away at how quiet and comfortable it was in here. I love all the kind of the blue dash in here and the seats. It does look really good inside the vehicle. The CarPlay hooked up. I mean, everything is just simple, it's easy, and this is a car that works. You can get in, you know how to change the climate control, you know how to put it in drive, how the steering wheel kind of operates. All the buttons on there make sense. It's just an easy to use, good little vehicle. So if you're looking for something that maybe you don't want to jump up to an SUV or don't want to spend that average new car price, I think the Nissan Versa is definitely one to stop in, take for a spin, and see what you think. So that was just a quick look and drive in the 24 Nissan Versa. Now if you have any other questions or you'd like to schedule a test drive for yourself, you can visit us online at walser.com or stop by any one of our Nissan locations. We'd be happy to help you out. Thanks for watching.